Let's welcome in our co-hosts on the day, the Admiral Bill Stubblefield, 2-star.
Rob, great morning to drive in. If you take you slow and easy, enjoy the beauty.
Be careful out there. Also, Maria Lawrence, an all-star.
Good morning. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you, especially since you came with care packages today. What's up with this?
It's that time of year, as you may well be aware. This is the week that Hospice of the Panhandle delivers.
Pull your mic closer to you, Maria.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You'd think I'd know by now. Delivers, we call them treat boxes now. It used to be our cookie project, but as I was saying off the air, in 2020 during COVID times, we decided it probably wasn't wise to have people baking at home, because that's what happens. Our volunteers bake and bring in, and so we I hate to use the word pivoted, but we moved towards treats, which this week, because it's Valentine's week, is also notorious for being a snowy week. And when we had homemade cookies and the volunteers were assembling things on Monday, if you didn't get them out by Wednesday, man, they were flying saucers.
Yeah,
so
discs.
Frisbees, whatever. So we moved to this, and some people, when we were delivering this week, were like, I miss the cookies. I'm like, yeah, but sorry. You got treats instead.
Talking about Valentine, Maria has on a Valentine sweater this morning.
I do. I'm very festive.
Yes, you are.
So,
very nicely done. And you mentioned snowy weather. We do have it. Bob Kucken joins us via telephone this morning. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning. It is a good morning.
Yeah, it's
not terrible. It's not terrible.
No, it's not. It's actually not too bad. I think we got about 3 3.5 inches around here.
Yeah, certainly not 6 to 9 or whatever. Yeah.
No. We were looking for about that 4-inch accumulation, more or less. So a little heavier off to the east for sure, but we did all right, all things considered. Still got a little snow lingering today. It's temperatures below freezing this morning, so still some icy patches here and there, but that's the take it slow part of the morning. And we'll do well. Later on this afternoon, we get up to the mid-30s, so changes over to a little rain, and it rains for a while tonight. Temperature back close to freezing. We may not get there, and then tomorrow a lot warmer. It's going to get windy, too, but we're going to get up to about 50 degrees tomorrow.
So don't bother to shovel is what you're saying. It'll wash and melt out of here soon enough.
Exactly. See, it's not a bad day.
The lazy man's approach to clearing snow. I like it.
It's a great idea.
That's how I do it when it's going to 50 the next day.
Yeah. Are you in Michigan today?
I am in Michigan today.
Yeah, how's the weather there?
It's the calm before the storm. It's pleasant right now. It's about a 6-inch accumulation headed this way tonight into tomorrow. So,
now, I saw on the news. They said parts of West Virginia got up to 10 inches of snow. Can I assume that's more in the mountainous regions?
Exactly. Further south, and then again further to the east and south. So you get down towards central Virginia, the same thing. The bigger accumulations and some ice was mixed in too. So definitely, we missed out on the bulk of it. We had the inconvenient part of winter, but not the ridiculous part of winter.
I was happy to see, typically when there's a storm coming to the areas north and west of D.C. are the ones that get the worst of it, and the south and the east. I've seen forecasts where we've been forecast for 6 to 8 inches of snow, and they're talking about rain in the southern counties of the D.C. area, a little further south, well north of Richmond. And it was the opposite this time. The south got more of the snow than we did north and west. What was the difference?
Difference was the track of the storm this time around. A lot of times the systems that generate the rain and the snow track in such a way where we are on the colder side of the system. The air mass is colder. It's drawing up warmer air, but that's further away from us. So we get the snow side of it, and the coastal areas, the D.C. side, and places to the south usually get the rain because of the way the system moves. This time around, the low-pressure track was further south. It ran along the southern states, along the Gulf, not quite along the Gulf, but the southern states, and it moved pretty much west to east. And so they were in the cold air, too, and they were closer to the system, so they got more of the weather than we got. We were in the cold air, but we were further away, so there was less of an impact.
Bob, I'm a big supporter of you and your meteorology colleagues. I think you do a great job. Are there any busts, though, that you remember or are particularly smart about? I'm thinking of a big bust Columbus Day storm many years or so ago, but have you progressed very much past that?
Not sure I'm picking up on what you mean, sir. As far
Okay.
as-
Yeah. Missing the forecast altogether. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what I was assuming,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I wasn't inviting that question. If that's
Yeah. No.
stuff happens once in a while, but things have, really with the advance of technology, and we've talked about weather models the last couple of times here, things have improved a good bit as far as projecting in advance with more accuracy. So there hasn't really been a big forecast bust in a while. I mean, it's certainly easy to jump in and overestimate, and I hate doing that. Usually I will lean toward the lower end of a number to the middle, because there's enough that can go wrong that will take those major numbers, the big accumulations, and steer them away. Nothing really comes to mind in the last few years. But again, the last few years, we didn't have a whole lot of snow. So
True.
it really has. It's been a while since we had one that I could really mess up on. But
Yeah. At one time, I was honored to call the head of the Weather Service a close friend, and he said that the coastal storms were far and away the most difficult of all the storms to predict.
they are.
Yeah.
A couple of reasons for that. There's more moisture coming off the coast and then back inland, circulating around the weather system. How intense the weather system gets as it gets over the warmer air and the water is a factor, and the timing of it all is really what makes the difference too. A few hours difference in cold air moving in and changing everything to snow versus rain can really bust the forecast bad, and it's only a difference of maybe 50 miles on the storm track, but you get that close to it and it makes all the difference.
And it was odd, this particular storm, Bob, I kept watching, last week, and, I've got weather.com on my phone, so I'm calling that up, and they're saying potential for a major winter storm. And it kept saying potential until Monday, until, we were right on top of it. And then it was like, 2 to 4 inches, maybe, kind of, sort
exactly.
of.
Yeah. Now, that's part of it is anticipating the storm tracks and the movements and the changes that far out, too. I mean, we're talking about 5-6 days out at that point. And they're trying to give you a heads up far enough ahead of time that at the minimum it's going to get sloppy and slippery, but there is the potential for a lot of it if enough moisture gets pulled in, if the storm track's a little different. So they're kind of hedging their bets, and I've done that before too, but enough to let people know. People want to know when, there's going to be a problem, and we don't want to imply that there's going to be a big problem, but it could be developing, so it's worth watching. And that's really all that is.
Staff Weatherman Bob Kucken via telephone. And Bob, before we let you go, are we getting freezing rain at all later today?
Could be a little bit. Temperatures are a little slow to climb today, and it'll be lower 30s into the afternoon. So the possibility for a little freezing rain and some sleet in there too through the evening time. But we're going to change over to rain, and the overnight temperatures hold very steady in the low and mid 30s. So it should stay pretty much liquid ahead of that big warm up tomorrow.
Very good. Any snow in the advanced forecast?
No, nothing in not in the next 5 to 7 days. It's going to get colder next week. We're going to be a good bit mild into the weekend. We're back up in the mid-50s again on Sunday, but then another cold punch comes in, and it'll be colder than average next week, maybe the middle to end of next week. But again, here's that potential. Talking 7 days out almost, there potentially could be some snow again with the cold air, and there's signs of systems developing that'll follow a similar track. So 7 days out, we'll wait and see, but if there's going to be something, it won't be until at least the middle of next week.
Thank you, Robert. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, Bob.
Thank you.